This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2022 XLR Boost. It's a toy hauler and a fifth wheel, and it has, as you can see, 3 axles. Okay, so let's just look it over. We'll start here at the rear end on the door side. So you see you have power stabilizers back here. One switch controls both of them, obviously. You can hang a TV here if you choose to. You got a bracket, you got signal out, and you got power. You got a dog tie off. Right now, of course, your garage door is down. It's in the patio position. We can, once we get inside, we can show you how these fences come out and fasten down. So we'll do that when we get inside. I don't know if you can see it up there, but as you can see, there's a housing for a camera up there, so it's pre-wired for a Furrion backup camera. If you're interested in that, you can always talk to the people here, or you can purchase one elsewhere. Just make sure you get the right camera to fit in that housing. Okay, outside speaker, we have your rear awning here. You have a front awning here. They're both power, of course. All right, your slide room, your door side slide room. Some cleaning stuff that we're still cleaning up a bit here. So you have a table that stores under here. I don't know if you can see that far, but you have 2 different cranks over there too. We're going to open up the other side, so we'll look there. A 20-pound tank here and another one on the other side. This is prep for a generator, so you have your generator compartment with the wiring. Battery here, okay. This does have a solar panel on it, so we'll talk about that when we get inside. Another 20-pound tank. That's the crank. If you need to crank your landing gear manually, it's done through here. Okay. I didn't know what I was going to say when I opened that up, so I know I was hesitating there. Okay, so that is the screen that hangs in the back. That screen you see there. This is so you can crank your landing gear, and then this one's a little different. It's got a cylinder with a slot cut in it. Okay. Now, if you come back here and look at the stabilizers, the rear stabilizers. Let me see. There's a shaft with a pin through it right there. If you can see it. So if these ever fail, you can put that crank on there. You can actually crank it manually to get yourself out of trouble. So that's a good thing also. Now your front, your 2 main slides are, this is an AccuSlide here, you can tell by the cables. This one here is commonly referred to as a Schwintek slide. You can tell by the 2 tracks on each side. So you have 2 different types there. Now this is your on-demand water heater. So just keep in mind that this is on-demand. The switches are inside. It will not light up or operate unless you have water to it. So keep that in mind. So if you think it's not working and you don't have the water pressure turned on and all that, it won't work without that. So I'll show you the controls when we get inside. It gives you an endless supply of hot water, which is great for the shower especially. Okay. Now this has 2 black tanks. So because there's 2 toilets, one in the front, one in the back, so it'll have 2 black tank flushes. This is the front black tank flush. When you dump the black tank, which is toilet water and waste obviously, make sure that you leave the valve open, the dump valve open like it says on this sticker here. Then you would hook the hose on here and turn it on, and you could flush out your black tank, flush it out, clean it out, plus clean off the sensors, which is a good thing. So keep that in mind. You have one for each toilet. Okay, your valves are down here and another one over there. You can see it. Okay. This is a vent for your range hood. If you're going to run the fan in the range hood, make sure the baffle inside there is flapping freely so it vents to the outside, and that's really all you have to know. This is an outside shower here. This is your rear black tank flush for the toilet that's by the garage area. And then of course you have your city water hookup, which is the most common way to get water to the trailer. Then you have your fresh water connection. This fills your fresh water tank up, and you can use the onboard pump to pump the water. So if you're camping someplace that does not have city water, you're boondocking or whatever, you can always take the water with you by filling your tank first and then using the pump. I'll show you where the switches are inside too. Also, a cable and satellite through right here. Okay. All right. This is not your cord. This is a shop cord here, but yours is here. It's a 50 amp cord, of course. So there's the end there, and then we give you a reducer to reduce down to 30, and another one to reduce it down to a 20. So you can always get out of trouble no matter what. All right. This is your fuel station. Your fuel pump here. There's also a switch inside that turns the pump on and off. I'll show you that. But there's the fill, and of course there's your filler right there with your hose and your. There you go. Okay, so this ladder's in the extended position. I have it out right now because we inspected the roof, but it folds in. Obviously, it'll be folded in when you pick it up. And it's great because the manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 60 days or so. So make sure you go up there, look around, make sure there's no crack or separation at any of the sealant, make sure there's no damage to the roofing material by, let's say, low branches or road debris flying up there. You look at all the attachments, make sure everything's in good shape. That you're just protecting your investment if you do that, so it's a good thing to do. Okay? All right, so let's go inside here. I guess we'll just go in through the garage here. Okay. So right now the chairs are stowed, or the benches are stowed anyway. So you can get stuff in here. You can obviously fold them into just a seat, a bench seat, and then you can turn it each one into a bed also. It's like a kid-sized bed. And of course your bunk up here folds down onto these supports right here, and you have a full-size bunk up there, right? You can put these out. Sorry about my camera work. I'm doing it all at once. I mean, all myself, and I get kind of backwards. Now now you can see this isn't long enough, obviously. So you want to find this button here. You're going to push it. Let me see if I can do this with one hand here. I'm sorry. Hold on. You push it, and then you pull it like so. Sorry about the camera work again. You pull it to this point here. There we go. Until it locks into place. You do the same thing for the other side, and then of course you fold the gate together. So, and like I said, that screen that I showed you in the front pass-through basement, that hangs here if you choose. Okay. It's pre-wired for a washer dryer and pre-plumbed for a washer dryer, either a combo or a stackable. Okay. This is your half bath, I guess you call it. So this would be for the rear black tank flush that I told you about. Okay. Escape window, they all work alike. Same way, you're just gonna push this through. I'm not even gonna bother with the whole thing, but you pull this out and you push the window open, then you grab a hold of this tab and pull the screen out, and you can escape during an emergency. Okay. Okay. So here we go into the living area. First thing we see is there's a loft here. Another place for kids. And it's sort of L shape, so it comes around to this side also. Okay. You have hookups for another TV here. This green light here is it's the signal booster for the digital antenna. So you could shut it off like that if you wanted to, but when you're using the antenna, you want that on or you won't get a good picture. Your hookups here, although your TV is just going to hook up here. This has more to do with the sound and, you know, if you want to get a more elaborate system going. This right here is your sound, and it has AM/FM radio. It was kind of hard to see the way I got the camera. AM/FM radio. It has a USB, so you can stream off a USB drive if you want to. It has an HDMI, which is an in, so if you want to go into the TV set with like a portable Blu-ray player that you have sitting down here, you can just go straight in there if you wanted, for example. It has Bluetooth, so you can stream wirelessly from your phone or your tablet. It has 2 speaker zones, Zone 1 and Zone 2. Zone 1 is inside the trailer, Zone 2 is outside the trailer. So it does a lot, okay? And this is the remote for that. Now your fireplace has a remote. It also has buttons here, of course. But this is a space heater. It has a fan in it also, so you can just have it on without the fan, more for the looks, that sort of thing. But if you want to, you shut it off. You can turn it on. Right now, you see it says H. That's because it always goes back to the default. But right there, I shut the fan off. If you can see that, low. Hopefully you can see it. High, which is high-speed fan, and then off. So you have low. Off, low, and high for the fan speed. It really kicks out with it on high, so I can feel the heat really coming out. You can change the color of the crystals, that sort of thing. It has a timer, so you can set it to turn on and off. It has a thermostat on it, so there's a lot you can do with it. And it runs off campground AC, so on those days where you just want to take the chill out of this room, you don't have to run the furnace and use up your limited supply of LP. You can just use that. This is just a pantry. I got to pick up the speed here. I'm not going to make it. I only get a half hour on this thing, so let's pick it up. Your microwave works like any other microwave. Whoops, let me do it again. Works like any other microwave. This is the range hood. I told you about the baffle outside. I showed you the vent. It's got a fan here and a light here, of course. Your range works like all of them do. You've got a sparker right here. You turn it clockwise to spark it. 3 burner knobs and 3 burners, and then this is for the oven. Basically you just go like so, and that's it. For the oven itself, you can read up on it if you use it. A lot of people never even use it, but there's a pilot light at the bottom all the way to the back. Okay. So you go to the oven knob, you go to the picture of the flame, you depress it, keep it depressed, hold it. Then you light the pilot light back there. Once it lights, you're still holding this in. Hold it for another 10 or 15 seconds till the thermocouple heats up. Then you go to operating temperature, right? When you shut it off, the flame goes out, so does the pilot light. So you have to relight it each time you use the oven. You have lights here, inside light, blue light. So always travel with this shut. There's probably 3 GFCIs in this trailer, I would guess. But even if it's not a GFCI plug, it's still wired through one. So keep that in mind. If you're using a plug and it pops, look around to see which GFCI it was wired through, okay? 12-volt refrigerator. Okay, it runs on 12-volt DC. It has a compressor, but it runs on 12-volt DC. Okay, your theater seating. This is, first of all, your keys are hanging right here, if you can see them on the faucet handle there. This is the power converter right here. So this converts AC to DC power. So as long as you're plugged into shore power, you have 110 AC here, just circuit breakers like you'd have at home, and they're all labeled here. Then the power is converted to 12-volt DC on this side. So you got 12-volt fuses, and then they're all labeled right here. So that's the 12-volt. Now, the thing to keep in mind is this is also a battery tender. So it'll sense how much money your battery up front needs and has, and it'll always keep it charged. As long as you're plugged in, it's going to send enough amps up there to keep it charged. So it's a semi-smart kind of a thing there. So that'll always keep it charged. Of course, when you're pulling down the road, your tow vehicle charges it, and then you have a solar panel on the roof which is always charging. It all depends on what time of day it is, what the weather's like, that sort of thing, to see how many amps you're going to gain, but you're always gaining something. This here is the carbon monoxide LP gas detector. It should always be green. The LED should always be green. If not, get it serviced. You always want it to be in working order. Never just ignore it, okay? If it goes off, you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off, figure out what's going on. Okay? Where next? Okay, so your control panel is right here. Your 2 Awnings are right here, right? Slide outs are here. There's going to be some more switches down up front, I believe. I got to make sure I didn't look, but you have your slide out switches here. These are all just lights. The power for your fuel pump is here. Remember I told you you have another switch inside. This is the water pump here, so if you're pumping water out of the fresh water tank, for example, like you're camping someplace without city water, you run the pump from there. That pump's also used to winterize the trailer. Right now the trailer is winterized. Your battery's charged, fresh water is empty, black tank 1 is empty, black tank 2 is empty, and gray is empty. It graduates up in 1/3 increments as it goes. The lights will light up. Okay? This is your thermostat. You got to hold the mode button for a few seconds till it lights up. You can't just poke it, you got to hold it. That's turning it on and off. And then you can go through all the different features. You'll have fan, which is just the air conditioner running without the compressor, right? It just circulates air. Then you have cool, which is full air conditioning, and then you can select fan speeds. Always go with leave the fan on auto if it gives you an option. And of course then furnace, which is your furnace, which is your propane furnace. So just remember you have to hold it a bit to get it to turn on and off. This is part of your generator here, so this is the pre-prepped controls here. This is your solar controller right here. So the only button you have to worry about is this one right here, the upper right hand corner. So right now it's telling us that we're gaining 3.6 amps from the sun. So the photovoltaic cells are turning 3.6 amps, turning it into sunlight into 3.6 amps and sending it to the battery. Okay, that changes, like I said, throughout the day depending on the position of the sun in the sky, depending on the clouds and all that sort of thing, of course. But you can just keep poking this and you have 38.1 amp hours and you have 13.7 volts in the battery system, which is perfect, and then back to 3.4 amps you're gaining amp hours. So there's 3 different measurements it gives you, right? Now keep in mind that if this starts flashing, FUL, and flashes, it's not broke. It's telling you that there's no more storage room in the battery. So as soon as you unplug your electric power or you run the battery down a bit, it'll start going back to the normal screen. It's just telling you, it shuts off because there's no place to put to store the energy. So FUL and flashing just means your battery's topped off, okay? All right. We have the bathroom here. Second toilet, and they are RV toilets. They sit right over a black tank. Of course, you have a flush pedal right there. So you can't use them dry. You have to have chemical and water in the black tank below. So when you pull into the campground, you hook up your power and your water. Then you'll come in here. You'll put a dose of chemical in the bowl. Right now you see there's antifreeze there. You put a dose of chemical in the bowl, and then you'll step on the flush pedal, hold it down until at least a gallon of water goes into the black tank along with the chemical. Then you're all set. You can use more water, just not less. So you use at least a gallon of water with chemical, and then you'll be ready. If you use it dry without doing that, the smell will be terrible, super terrible, and it's the kind of mistake you'll only make once. So keep that in mind. It also can get clogged up if you do that. So always make sure you put, in both black tanks, you put at least a gallon of water plus a dose of chemical. Now this is your controller for your on-demand water heater. It is not, there's no water in the system, so it's not doing anything right now, but it's all self-explanatory. You can read the directions. You have on and off. You can go with Fahrenheit or Celsius, obviously. Set your temperature up and down. It's very, very simple, okay? Your shower works like any other shower. Always have this latched when you're traveling, or else they tend to shatter at times. Doing that with one hand here. Okay, sink works like any other sink. There's another GFCI. Okay. Okay, so this is your other slide room here. This is a wardrobe slide. And yeah, here's the control for the wardrobe slide. Right, light switch. Second air conditioner. Now this air conditioner has the controls right on it. So that just for the air conditioner for your master bedroom here. And like I said, the controls are right on it. You don't have to use a thermostat. You have a TV hookup, and there's a backer plate here, so you can put a bracket so you could, watch it laying in bed if you choose to. Another escape window, and of course the bed does lift up, and there's storage underneath. Okay. All right. I think that might be it here. Let's look around. Excuse me. I think I've got everything. If I forget anything, we can go over it when you can ask about it when you pick up your trailer, but I think we've got it here. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting your roof every 60 days. That's important because you're protecting your investment. Odds are you won't have to do anything besides inspect it, but you're just doing that to make sure everything's okay. And right now this is winterized. All the water's been purged from the trailer and it's been replaced with antifreeze. You don't have to worry about bypassing or draining your water heater because it has an on-demand water heater. There's no tank, so you don't have to worry about that part. And it's all set for the winter, so when the summer comes you can just flush the chemicals out, the antifreeze out I mean, and you're all set to go, okay? Okay, thank you very much.